snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, snack X's? It's your boy Gage. Sin is in the building. Jokes is in the building.
Yo.
And you now tuned in to the very first episode of Loaded Snacks Weekly for the future year 2025.
Let's go.
We made it. We're in the future.
We're in the future. Future.
Cars are already supposed to be flying.
Nope.
And you know, the AI takeover is coming, so we don't have to worry about that part. That's definitely already in place. I would like to take a moment to apologize to anyone who was unfortunate enough to expect a live show last week for Popeyes and Pajamas. We did have it. It was just us hanging out, chilling, listening to music, watching videos, and just all in all having a good time in our pajamas.
Yeah.
Eating Popeyes. It was a good old time. And I know that we have traditionally gone live in some sense every year. And I'm sure we're going to do it again. The reality of it is, I think at this point, we may need to do Popeyes and Pajamas like twice a year or like once a quarter or something like that, just because it's, cool to get in, and then we can like shoot some stuff and send some stuff out. But it was kind of important for us to, after 10 years, and especially over the last like 4 of them, just not really being able to get together to record the way we used to, and things just kind of being really different. Even more so this year, because what started in 2023 as something that was supposed to be a tradition, and all of us kind of just getting together and having our own kind of little party / powwow with party games and so forth in Ocean City, just didn't happen this year because Jokes couldn't be there and Kay couldn't be there. It just, so this year us having the opportunity to do that amongst ourselves was just kind of important. So that was what we needed to do. What's up, Heather? So yeah, we definitely had a good time. What's up, Nana? We certainly intended. We were like gonna shoot stuff, and then it just didn't feel like it was just not part of the vibe. It was good to just kind of be together and not feel.
The music was rocking. It just was.
So like, have to shoot something. To the need to create content all the time is like, it's a consistent pressure that like almost always exists. Every time you go somewhere, every time you do something, in the back of your head, you're like,
I should shoot something.
I should probably shoot this. I should probably turn, you know what I mean? And it does, while we are doing things that we certainly enjoy, it does kind of take away some of that, because you kind of end up in that space. And so, mentally, it's good for us to kind of make sure that we are creating space for us to still do things we love and not feel like we always have to create something around it or do content around it or something like that. And so, we'll continue to do stuff. We may not either announce some of the things that we're doing. We're just getting together for the sake of it, so that people don't feel like, they're missing something. Because FOMO is a real thing. At the same time, we will probably not take things that have traditionally been something that we do for everyone and is public facing and take it away and and just make it, a thing for us. So, we'll continue. We have some things planned out in terms of kind of getting together and looking at what the rest of this year looks like up through really like through January of 2026. So we're planning some things out for not next week but the following week, which includes MagFest. But yeah, putting some plots and plans and such together for that. Now, Jokes, you got a job to do.
Yes, sir.
while you're doing that, I just need to mention it's so good to have you at the beginning of the show. You know what I mean?
Here's a 2025. Maybe that gets back to being a thing.
I mean, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then I look at my schedule. No.
Yeah, probably not. But Sin,
Yes, sir.
it's 2025, but that part ain't changed. You know what to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis M. Bay, Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. So today's show, let me just start by saying there's a lot happening. There's a lot of news. And under normal circumstances, I'd feel obligated to talk about a lot of the news. What's going on? Like CES is happening. It's like one of my favorite times of the year. Anytime they're announcing new gadgets and showing off new stuff, I'm glued. I'm in there. However, that is not what today is about. Today is about recapping / reminiscing.
Yo.
What up, Cuddy? 2024. And hey, Zay. Our favorite things from 2024. So, like, to set the bar for where we are on this. In some years, we get to this point and we will do here is the best thing according to us from last year. And while that's not an impossible thing to do, considering that there are ostensibly only 3 of us, like we have a 4th member,
right?
But in terms of like this kind of stuff and what we do, it becomes a little more difficult to do that. And the reality of it is that it's kind of difficult to put things to a vote and kind of really. And the other thing that's important, I think, to understand is that, especially over years of doing like being comfortable being in geek panels and stuff like that, and taking the time to highlight how different we all are and how different our tastes are.
Yeah.
While still giving each other the freedom to hate on each other and disrespect each other's choices. You kind of get to a place where you realize that like it's easier and probably better for us to just all speak to what our individual favorite things are. No, Cuddy, we're not going to talk about the new Disney Plus Spider-Man show. Because I don't really have thoughts yet. So there's really no point in getting into that. No, we're not going to talk about Netflix and wrestling. Y'all could have tuned in last night. You'll have an option. You can still go and check it out if you want to. We're not getting into that. Now, what I will say is that we all have our own favorites, and the intention initially was to go around like round robin style and kind of let everybody speak to their thing for each category. We do have categories. I'm not positive that's gonna work as well, considering the way we need to share some of the images and so forth. But you two kind of chime in and tell me if you think like it still makes sense to go, round robin like we were initially intending to. It's not impossible.
Right. I feel like for some of the stuff that we're going to actually talk about, I feel like some of them don't need pictures, but like, let's just say one of the let's say popcorn bucket. I think probably for one like that may need an image for it, but some of the things that we'll talk about, I don't think necessarily we must have to go around necessarily put the image up for.
All right. Well, look, we can go through the categories, and if you feel like if you have an image to share and you would like to share an image, then we'll go from there. Is that?
That sounds fine. Yeah,
I think that's fair enough.
What up, Lightning?
Hey,
welcome to the show, buddy. Happy 2025. All right. So look, from a category standpoint, I mean, we are loading snacks. It did start out as gaming, so let's start there. We only chose to do like a single player game and a multiplayer game. So I guess Jokes, we'll start with you. Why not?
Gotcha.
You have a multiplayer game, your favorite multiplayer game of 2024.
Gotcha. And you know what? I'm not even gonna pull it because my computer is acting funky as I'm trying to go in here and do this. But my multiplayer, I have one there is Black Ops 6. So for me, two pieces of it. So of course, the normal online multiplayer, it's its thing. It's just always a good feeling to go in and do it. I know some people are like, it's not Destiny. No, it's not Destiny. But the real part of it was zombies. The zombies aspect, the co-op / multiplayer part of it, it's just so much fun. I will say it's nowhere close as fun as going in and playing that by yourself. It's much better. It's much better to be in there with folks. Just for the chaos and the funny things that happen as you're in there for it. But I think with some of the revamps and some of the things that they revisited to bring back to put into zombies that they hadn't necessarily had in there in a while, I think it was a good refresh for it. I haven't gotten to, and Marcus, shout out to you. I know you are pioneering the hell out of zombies.
Yeah.
But I may not be like a super high level, but it's just so much fun. Zombies is just so much fun. Get in, and you're supposed to really go through and do like the story pieces of it, but sometimes it's just fun to just stay in between rounds and just shooting zombies while you're in there. That's really what it is. But my multiplayer is Black Ops 6.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I'll be honest, I don't think I was expecting that from you, and for it to sit at the top. I mean, look, I don't know what other stuff multiplayer you really played. I do know that there were some things in terms of like competitive multiplayer stuff that you played, but like just didn't quite live up to what it should have been, like the new Dragon Ball join, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. So
multiplayer on online, oh no, that absolutely went to the bottom of the list.
Which is disappointing, but I get it. You know what I mean? What up, Broly?
What's good, man?
In the building.
I mean, look, I never played zombies until this year.
Same.
People have talked about it, you know what I mean? And people have tried it, like, yo, you got to jump in, you need to play zombies, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but Left 4 Dead. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of where I've been. And so, like, it was cool. Like, I had a good time playing it. I did think for a second that it was going to make me, like, I was going to get addicted to it and feel
I feel you. And after Extra Life, I was like, actually, I'm good on this.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was. Extra Life ended, and I was like, I need my hard drive space back.
Listen, I am not mad at that at all, because Call of Duty is a hefty piece of that story.
Yeah. Ridiculous, dog. Sin, multiplayer game. Your favorite multiplayer game of 2024?
My favorite multiplayer game of 2024 is actually Double Dragon Gaiden. I had such a blast with Gage playing this for many upon many of nights. I like how the game worked, like classic side scroll pixel beat 'em up game. That's our roots right there. So that added to it. Plus, I like the way the game was kind of like structured, where you pick one boss, you start that, then you pick what next boss you want to go to. It gets more difficult. So to get like the whole picture of everything, you had to keep starting over and figure out do it different ways each time. There was a secret way to go and get the fight like the mayor of the city, whatever, and that was a whole thing. And just trying to build up the coins, unlock all the characters and everything. I'm talking about just good old beat 'em up action.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the characters we were unlocking. Like me and Marion is a nightmare in that joint. Like I could put it on right now with Gage and have a blast with it. I had so much fun, mostly with that one in a multiplayer way this year. Definitely.
I would second that. That joint was it crossed my mind as my favorite joint.
Fair enough.
Big bro, you know Left 4 Dead is goated.
Yes.
Left 4 Dead 2 specifically is
memories, though.
talk about
Flashbacks.
that daggone witch. Boy.
No, sir. No, sir.
Woo. That's when you. That's look. Them witches, bruh. The god lightning, bruh.
What?
Lightning, come get this joint. You know, for me, surprisingly for me, it was Space Marine 2. Here's the thing. Warhammer, I've never really cared about Warhammer. I've tried all kinds of. I did, Frosty. I did, most definitely. I have tried. Like Warhammer has been. It's a thing. Like it's a big deal to a lot of people, from the tabletop joint to just whatever. And there's always multiple games, and somehow we always end up playing some. I swear there's a Warhammer game that comes out that's a co-op game every year.
And it'd be on the low.
It'd be
it pop up in Game Pass or something. We're like, what's this?
Oh, what is this?
Okay.
Warhammer? What is...
You'd be like, all right, this is the first time a Warhammer game had like a story and I cared about it and I like somewhat understood what Space Marines is and like why people care about that. See? I feel like I don't know, like I needed some Gears of War in my life. You know what I mean? And I just didn't know. Like I didn't know Space Marines were giants, gigantopithecus. Like I didn't know.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I just didn't know. You know what I mean? And so it just felt so good to
destroy everything.
It just like murdering things in that game is so satisfying.
And that shotgun helped too with that.
Oh, you know, hey, listen, if there's a shotgun, he's
shotgun.
That's
that
it.
Was a clean
chainsaw
one.
Sword. The like, come on, bro. Like
the hammer.
It just was clean. Oh my, that hammer, bro. Yeah, I don't. It captivated me. I was in there. I didn't expect it, so I think that's kind of what elevated it. There were a couple of other side scrolling beat 'em up type joints like Double Dragon Guide that certainly got my attention this year. But in terms of something that was multiplayer, having 3 people be able to jump in, run them up, pick your class, and just kind of like get your favorite weapons or whatever, and then play through the story that way, which is kind of a big deal because you don't often get that where in the multiplayer you can actually play through the story, but then being able to swap out and get different classes and so forth and build those classes up playing through just the PvE non-story missions that are actually tied to the story, which was another thing that was kind of cool.
That was
So we had a real good time with it. What up, G? That was my multiplayer game. Jokes. Your favorite single player game of 2024?
Single player game, I'll put this up just because maybe there's some people that aren't familiar with it. It's gonna be Persona 3 Reload. When I tell you, like, if you guys were on here when we did our Xbox achievement thing on there, this was my number 2 game that I played during 2024. And I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the story from start to end. They released some DLC that expanded the story a little bit further. Now, obviously, let me put Reload is because this is a remake. So Persona 3, clearly it's not a new game, but the new life that they brought to it, upgrading some of the mechanics in the game and the way that it plays, it is absolutely amazing. It's one of those that you'll go through, and of course, if you're familiar with how Persona games work, you have to make decisions as you play the game. Some of those decisions will impact gameplay going forward. And if you do miss some of those decisions, you can't go back and change those decisions unless you start a whole new game. And so in doing this is like just creating these things where it's like, oh man, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? But overall, it just completely had me intertwined the whole way through it. I gotta finish the DLC, And once I finish the DLC, I probably will go play one more time because I almost have all the achievements. So that's one
Okay.
thing I do want to go back, because there are those, you do have those decisions that it's like it does change the course of the story of the game, but it's like you have to choose one to proceed. You get an achievement for making that decision, but you also get an achievement for making the other decision as well too. So a couple of those you have to go back and do. But overall,
Now you got to go back and redo it.
you got to go back and redo it. But I would say for those that are not familiar with the Persona series, Persona 3 is really a good one to start with. It's not like you're going through like reading or watching Harry Potter where like the first one really ties into the second one, that ties into the third one. There are just some similar, what's the word I want to look for? Mechanics that are built into each one of them that are the same, that give you that this is a Persona game. But the story itself doesn't intertwine with the first one or the second one. You can just jump right in, experience a new story, and not have to worry about it. But Persona 3 was my single player game of the year.
I dig it.
Not mad at it. Very obvious one that y'all probably already know of. Let me get the picture.
Which one?
Which one? This one. Yeah, like a Dragon Gate and the man who erased his name.
Anything that ends in Gaiden.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, just like your Persona one, we talked about this, on our going through our wrap up for our achievements and stuff. But no, like the story hit, it answered questions that a lot of us wanted to know the answers to. It had me even more excited to finally start playing Infinite Wealth, which I'm currently doing, which I'm pretty sure by the time that ends, like if it was later on, this would be my number one. That would be my number one. But no, like they don't miss when it comes to their storylines, and they didn't with this one. Like I said, got answers to a lot of questions. The gameplay, it's fun. They try little new things each time with the fighting styles and stuff like that. No different in this one, and different for Kiryu to play with him as like having a secret agent fighting kind of style or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But overall worked out because you could always go back to his other, his original badass style. But no, it just delivered heavy to me on the story level. Gameplay, like I said, was exactly what I expected. I've been playing these since PlayStation 2, so not too much like an elevation there, but story-wise always knocks it out the park. So for me, definitely this one.
I dig that. For me, my favorite game of last year ended up being Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I didn't really play I didn't play a lot of like big games that released this year. The new trend in the gaming space is that like 70% or something of most gamers are playing games that are 6 years old or older. And so even though there are a lot of new games that come out every year, the majority of games are being played continuously and are seeing the most play are, games as a service and stuff like that. And so for a lot of people, that's where they are. Games that are older, Grand Theft Auto was like my most played game this year. That game's 11 years old. Fortnite is one of the most played games. Yep. Dragon Age kind of snuck in towards the end of the year. I was a little like hesitant. I enjoy the Dragon Age games. I haven't loved the Dragon Age games. I preferred Mass Effect. They have ruined that at this point for me. And this game takes a much more action-oriented approach to the RPG. So G said Dragon Age was classic 80s. I mean, it's look, here's the thing. I thoroughly enjoy the characters. There are some moments in the story that feel a bit shoehorned in, and I'm still playing. But overall, like, I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying the gameplay more than anything else. I'm enjoying like the the way you take your character class and you choose your abilities, you just have this vast array of options. Nothing like what Path of Exile looks like.
Yeah.
That
is
but-
intimidating.
What? But you have a ton of options in terms of like moving through this grid and choosing as you level, you know, what abilities you want and what upgrades and stuff like that you want. But you also, which I think is just a very important thing in games now, period, is at any time you can just wipe the slate clean and redo all your abilities. Like, and I just think stuff like that is so important now in RPGs. I think there are so many people out there who love to play games like this. Some people who get frozen by, like, you know, decision paralysis and that kind of thing, and not being sure which direction is the one to go. And now it's like, well, you could just kind of do whatever you want. And then
that is so different.
Yeah, that's not.
Wipe the slate clean. I have edited my character's abilities probably 5 or 6 times. Like literally gone in and like gone down a certain route and been like, you know what? Almost all of my major powers I use are this type of power. I'm gonna rearrange this, use things that make those more powerful. And let me just tell you, dog, last night
it was popping.
I was like, why did I do this in the very beginning? I was all about it. G said the new Zelda is it. And you know what? I didn't play it.
Same.
So I can't say. I'm glad you like it and you're enjoying it. I love that. That is my favorite style of a Zelda game. Like a top-down Zelda is what it is for me. And having the opportunity to play as Zelda for the first time ever feels like a big deal. What can I say? I don't switch. I don't know. You know what I mean? It didn't hit for me. So I didn't get it. But it's possible I would have enjoyed it a lot. Moving on to movies. So here's the thing. We have decided to do categories of like favorite animated movie, favorite live action, right? And we're talking stuff that came out this year in the theater. 2024 in the theater. At an 8K.
8K. Hey, listen, I wish. Nah, that is not no 8K cam.
Hey, bro, even if it was, you wouldn't be able to see it in 8K. Like, what are you talking about? However, we also had to include our favorite popcorn bucket. Because when we had the discussion about like what is it that makes you decide it's worth it to go to the theater, we could not have that discussion without talking about popcorn buckets. So, Lord.
Hey, that's just because I don't have a hat. So that's probably what it is.
That's
normally
a good chance
it's hidden away by the hat.
Is popping because the milk dud is out. It's not under a hat today. Yeah. So, Jokes, your favorite popcorn bucket from 2024?
Favorite popcorn bucket is gotta be the Batman Bat Signal. This one came out to celebrate the 80th anniversary of Batman. So they put
85th.
Get it right. 85th. Gotta get it right. Respect.
People say I hate him. I don't. He's not a superhero. Let's just keep it a buck.
They put the Batman back in theaters, and alongside it, they released this along with it. Now, the cool part about it was, at first when they announced it, it was just like, okay, cool. It's a cool gimmicky looking one. But then to come to find out, it actually works. You put batteries in it, and it actually will shoot the bat signal off. And I got to give them props. It's not no little cheap type of light in it either. You plug it up, it actually highlights pretty damn well. Now, obviously, no popcorn went in that bucket. That's pretty much how it works with any of these buckets that come out for it. But overall, I think this was my favorite one overall, just for the extra aesthetics that they put in actually making it work to be for it. But there was some solid buckets that came up. But overall, this was the one that was my favorite for 2024.
You know what, Jokes? I'm not mad at that. I think that's a very, very, very solid pick. I think that's a super solid pick, as a matter of fact, because that joint does work. You're
Yes.
selling it a little bit. You're like, this action, bro. It's an LED. Like it's a regular LED. Like it's an LED.
Listen, it worked. I really wasn't expecting it to like just turn it on. Like normally you got to turn like all the lights and everything out to get to like really see it a little bit, but this one projected pretty well. So, hey,
You're right. Ellis, I'm ignoring you right now. Ellis said the back signal bucket is amazing. Send your favorite popcorn bucket from 2024.
Oh, it's the same one. It's the Bat Signal one. Yeah. It's the Bat Signal one. Yeah. Just as far as just looks like, I thought that was really creative, like to how to celebrate the anniversary. Like the Bat Signal, it's iconic. We all know it. And the fact that it actually worked, I placed my order that night when they announced it and went right there in the morning and went pick it up. Like, it's I thought that was the coolest one that came out this year, personally.
I do recall passing that information on to y'all.
Yes, sir.
And you being like, it's what? I got it.
It works. Yep.
It does what? Gotta have it immediately. For me, that joint is certainly up there. I actually do think that's one of the best popcorn buckets ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you get much cooler than that, though. The Nosferatu joint is kind of knocking on the door.
Yeah.
However, this boy right here. Do you see this ridiculousness?
Yes.
This boy right here. Zane said the Moana one was pretty cool.
Moana one was pretty cool.
I don't know what the Moana one was.
It was like a big tidal wave.
Yeah,
like it was
like
blue,
her on
clear.
like on the boat tidal wave.
Yeah.
Considering now we're at the point where like Regal is doing contests to like let you win a popcorn bucket every month for this year, they're just gonna get more. And like, I thought the Doom joint was fluke. I thought it was a good idea, but like,
I thought the what's the name one was pretty good. The just came out with the Coliseum, Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2.
Yeah, the Coliseum. You can scan like the little code where we see them fighting or whatever. Something different. I thought it was cool.
That is, again, that's, I'm looking to see how they push the envelope 2025, because I'm thinking about what movies I know are coming out and trying to like in my head, like, all right, what are they gonna do? So like right now, we are like just over a month out from the new Captain America film. What's the popcorn bucket?
I think it's his helmet.
Supposedly it's his helmet, like his flight helmet.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a fan of that. I don't dislike it, but
it's not super cool looking. If it was like if he had like I
can miss that one.
It could have been better off just if it is the shield. If anything, granted, you're gonna have to hold it sideways, but I feel like a Captain America shield popcorn bucket would probably be better. But different chains have different ones, so who knows?
This is true. You don't know whether AMC or Regal or Cinemark, you don't know what they're gonna have, so you might have to go get a couple. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite animated movie from 2024?
Yeah, I would say animated CG. It's CG, but it came out obviously close to the end of the year for it. I had a feeling it was going to be good. I didn't know how much I was going to truly enjoy it. But Sonic 3. Sonic 3, it's I'm
gonna ask. Listen, I'm just because I am who I am.
Go for it.
Is this an animated movie?
But see, that's why I just said 3. See, I know we said live action and animated, so I feel like the CG stuff kind of falls into the animation.
I feel like if this was me right now,
I'd be animated, but it's not like a completely.
Hey, Sin, I'm doing it for you right now. I'm doing it for you.
Hold on.
My stuff is correct. My stuff is correct. So no.
Hold on. Sin. Wait. Say that again. Just say it again.
What? Which one? Me or him?
Oh, Sin. Say it again, Sin. You said if you did it, you get yelled at.
Yes.
You 100% right. You 100% right. Like, and Jokes would be yelling at you too.
Yes.
Like
For this, no, I
"Mm."
wouldn't. If he did like a 3D type of thing, listen, animation. I feel like honestly, I don't know. I don't think I really watched any animation movies other than like. Stop it. I didn't watch that many, and like
Yeah.
as much as I love
Didn't
Gundam,
understand the assignment.
Gundam Sea Freedom animation wise, it was good, but it wasn't gonna be. Yeah, so I'm standing on my soapbox. Sonic 3, it's CG animation. So, but then it doesn't matter. But then the same thing that falls into the same category because that is also CG. So that falls into the same category.
No,
it's not. It's not.
No. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
There are people
Yes.
in this movie, though. That's
Yes.
all right. So
They're
wait,
human
so, like,
beings, real life people standing around and acting.
Is the most recent Ninja Turtles movies, are they
all right,
animated?
Fine. I'll give it to you just because Sonic is the 3D. So I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
Give it to me, dog. I'm taking it. Like, what do you mean? I made my point. Don't say it like I'm just saying. Like, if you didn't see anything animated and this is the closest thing to it, then like make it your honorable mention or something. I don't know, dog. Like,
fine, honorable mention, whatever. Okay, fine. You want one? Gundam Sea Freedom. Boom. There you go. I'm done.
Okay, well done. I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad you like it. Hey, Sid, you have a favorite animated?
I do, sir.
What is it, sir? And, listen, and Jokes pay very close attention because you know how he likes to do.
See, that was uncalled for. That was unnecessary.
I wasn't actually gonna come at you that time, so, until you. Okay,
but mine was Look Back. Done by it's a one shot from the creator of Chainsaw Man, Fujimoto. It's about an hour long. I know it just won an award recently in like Japan, like their big film awards or whatever. It took like animated movie of the year. Great piece of artwork, storytelling, visually, the whole 9 yards. I think a lot of people we know that are artists, you know, like Brian Turner and Jerry and all them, I think they would really like it. It really highlights and focuses on trying to become like a manga writer or just like an artist in general, and just how life may just hit you sometimes where you least expect it type of deal. Follows two girls from like their childhood and school together, drawing, writing, becoming friends, and getting into the industry, and just it's a very interesting, well done, sometimes actually more than sometimes heavy story, but it's really, really like good, like for real. I would definitely recommend people, if you're interested, like I said, especially if you're a creator or something like that, just watch it through this lens. It's pretty amazing for real, and it's not even long. Like I said, it's about an hour long. It's won't even take up too much of your time, but it is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful movie.
I dig it. For me, it absolutely is piece by piece. The reality of it is I didn't see any other animated films in the theater this year. Piece by piece being, it's just a strange thing. Like, to be a documentary film about arguably one of the greatest producers and songwriters of the last 20 years, really 25 years, actually really 30 years if you watch the documentary and you see what kind of stuff he was doing before anybody knew who he was. To have that presented in Lego is, I just appreciated the difference, that like it being a different take and a different way of doing it. And it's like, it doesn't take itself too seriously while covering actual moments in a documentary format, but then also being Legos and covering things that are also kind of adult and things you just don't really expect to see in Legos or see Legos doing, because Snoop Dogg does what Snoop Dogg does. And like Pusha T is pushing, like is pushing,
slanging
Legos,
them things.
Slinging them things. It's like, I don't, you know, it's so different. And I have such a high appreciation for it. I thoroughly enjoyed the music and the animation and having that story told, that documentary told that way in a medium like that. And I just think that it's one of the most clever things I've seen in a very long time. Frosty said, I'm in for Lego After Dark. I mean, listen, I'm positive you can find it. I'm scared to go search.
Go Lego After.
It might be what I meant. You know what I mean? Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite live action.
It's all good. This one's fine.
You sure?
Yeah,
What?
I'm sure. Sin, shut up, because normally we be doing this.
Oh, no.
So
I'm
don't.
gonna get my shit off. I'm sorry, y'all get on me all the time. I'm gonna have this moment, all right? So just keep on going and just let me do my thing.
Oh man. Okay. What is it?
But for live action, right at the end of the year, I gotta give it to Wicked. I'm gonna be real. Like, I haven't really gone to any type of like stage plays, musicals, or anything like that. So going to see Wicked, it was kind of, I didn't know necessarily what I was truly going to be getting into at that point. But when I tell you that soundtrack is now on repeat every other day, probably, but like everything about this movie was absolutely incredible. The way things were shot, the music, I gotta give it up to Ariana and Cynthia Erivo. But Wicked was absolutely amazing. I hate that I didn't get a chance to go back during the sing along to really see how that would make the
You want to sing
actual.
along?
And listen, I was definitely gonna be singing along. I know I can't sing for shit, but definitely was gonna be singing along to that joke. But it was absolutely incredible. Like, it, even though like it's a two-parter, like it has me literally wanting me to actually go see the actual musical on Broadway. Like, it has done that, and that just opens up a whole nother door. But this came in at the end of the year and absolutely was amazing.
You know what? I'm just gonna jump on this while you're talking about it. Frosty says somehow Wicked songs ended up in my created Spotify playlist, and I'm not mad about it at all. Truth, look, because my favorite live action movie of the year is also Wicked. We talked about it a little bit when after I first saw it. It took what I think was a very important event in Deadpool and Wolverine and just shoved it. Just shoved that joint. And like, I did see a good amount of movies this year. I was actually surprised when I really started thinking back to like what I saw. There were some good joints that kind of crept up. I certainly have some honorable mentions that, you know, will be worth it. But I rewatched this New Year's Eve. As soon as it dropped on digital, like I bought it and was like, let's go. And it's just so well done. It's so well put together. She said, I'm going to check for Wicked.
You 100% should.
Ariana is masterfully hateable.
Oof. Excellent job being
while also being hilarious. And Cynthia Erivo there's a lot of emotion that, you know, this film pushes forth, and I just think it again, this is an old story, but I think that this was the proper way to bring it to the forefront at this time and age and reach an entirely new audience. It's just, there isn't anything else that I saw that I enjoyed seeing while I was seeing it in the theater as much as this, even though like Deadpool and Wolverine had all the Easter eggs.
Yeah, everything.
That joint had all the Easter eggs. And so for somebody like me, where there's not a single Easter egg that snuck by, I was enjoying that joint thoroughly. This joint was just like, yeah, I would have much rather seen this again and again than see that. I haven't rewatched Deadpool and Wolverine, as a matter of fact.
I haven't either.
I saw it in the theater twice. I haven't seen it again since then. I immediately was like, I'm watching Wicked again. And that joint is long. And it's only the first part. Like, that says a lot.
Yeah.
So,
and I didn't know that. Like, listen.
I didn't know it was a part one.
They don't, when you see the trailers and stuff, they don't tell you that it is.
Of course.
And then once you get to the theater and that opening cinematic with Wicked pops up and it says part one underneath of it. And then someone was like, yeah, the whole actual, the stage play is like 4 hours and some change. And I was just like, oh, well.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well,
then.
that explains it.
Yeah.
And essentially where this movie ends is like where intermission during the stage play ends at. So it kind of lined up perfectly the same way for it.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I'm gonna tell you what, I'm going back. I'm going back. Like, there's just, I'm going back. Like, I need it. I'm going back. I'm all in.
You got that on digital. You can watch it unlimited times.
Right. Your favorite live action?
Yes. Yes. It was not a big theater movie year for me. If it was anime, I was going to the theater to watch that stuff. Other than that, it was a low year for me as far as like live action movies. So kind of off of default, I got to go with Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a great time going to see it, laughing. Got to see a Gambit live action, on the screen. So a good version of him, So yeah, it was Deadpool and Wolverine. That's out of everything that I got to sit down and watch this year. It was, that.
Hey, I'll be honest. I thought you were probably gonna say Trap.
You did?
I did. I really did.
From a distance.
No, it was not going to be Trapped.
I thought you liked it.
I don't know where you got that from. Hey, look, I can enjoy myself a bad movie, but come on now.
All right.
I more so was yelling. I was more so like verbally like yelling, watching that thing in the theater. Like, come on now. Okay.
It was an interesting film to see for sure. Yeah. TV shows, animated, jokes. What do you
got? For animated, for TV show, I gotta give it to X-Men 97. I got some honorable mentions I'll talk about afterwards, but X-Men 97 was damn near perfect, I think, in trying to bring the look, the feel, the atmosphere of everything from that original X-Men series from the 90s and bringing it to the forefront to today. I think they did an amazing job with how they presented it. It picks right up. And like you're just diving right into the story. And listen, there are some gut punches during this show that, like, for X-Men fans that will lose it when you watch this. But just overall, like, I thought it was treated with the respect that you would want to see, like, coming from something that was high praised when it came out in the 90s, to bring it now and then try to give it that same feel and still update it and make it fall and give it that look of what today would be for it, I think was absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to whatever the next step. I'm cautiously optimistic because we know there are going to be some changes and things just because of people in the helm. So who knows what'll happen, but I'm still looking forward to what they do when this actually does come back for season 2, whatever variation of it they're going to call it for it. But definitely my favorite was X-Men 97. Just some honorable mentions, like, and send this kind of like, I don't know, you probably have some of these on, like, anime. I got to give it to Don, and I got to give it to Bleach.
Okay.
Bleach, I just gotta tell you, it took pretty much almost 20 years for us to get that final installment for it. And I'm gonna be real with you. I think waiting the 20 years and getting it to be done now was probably the best thing that they could have done. Animation quality, stepping, like, everything just grade A scale and just going all out with it. Don was just that unknown. I didn't read the manga, had no idea what I was getting into. The trailers don't really give you much. This show was wild and crazy. It is absolutely hilarious.
It is.
I got hooked on it. theme song is dope. That joint is on constant replay. But those are my two honorable mentions that I just gotta throw out there.
Nice.
Yeah. What you got?
This one was tough, to be honest, because like I said, mostly I was watching this year was anime stuff. So let me share this. There we go. Boop. My pick is, there it is. Kaiju number 8.
Good one.
Yeah, top of the year. Yeah, I was really excited for this. I'd heard rumors about it. Didn't want to look too deep into it because I wanted to be surprised. And out the gate, they delivered. Great animation. I really like the world building of the show. And I love the fact that the main character isn't like a teenager, like he's a grown up, like in his mid-30s. So that plays into like everything that's going on. But I think they knocked it out the park with the first season. Like every week, the way they ended the show, every single week, they hit you with that. Was it like a One Republic song at the end of it?
Listen,
would drive us crazy in a good way, but every single week.
Intro and the outro. I don't know what you're talking. Both.
Yeah, they were
both
fire.
Fire.
Yeah, absolutely, 1000%. It was between this and Solo Leveling. The only reason this edged out Solo Leveling was because of the world building in this one, and season 1 of Solo Leveling doesn't really have any world building. That's mostly what we're getting in season 2, which is just getting started. But pound for pound, I think they did an amazing job with season 1 with this, and season 2 drops this year, and I cannot freaking
wait for it.
Yes.
I heard a lot of really good things about Kaiju number 8.
Them cliffhangers every week is torture.
Hey, bro,
they are torture. They hit you at just the right time, and then we all sit like they're about to play that damn song, and sure enough, it comes on like God, and everybody would just rage out. It was so fun to watch online every week. People going through that.
Funny enough, the Kaiju number 8, the opening theme was one of my top songs on my Apple Music list.
I believe
that I've played.
One of the stronger ones. One of the strong ones for 2024. Yeah,
ridiculous.
Wicked didn't knock that joint out.
You know what? I haven't looked. Honestly, I haven't gone back and looked to see if it did, but I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I'm gonna do that.
All right, so here's the thing. Favorite animated show was kind of tough. I had a lot of bias and thoroughly enjoyed X-Men 97. And for a long time, I was like, it's X-Men 97. That's clearly the best show, the best animated one I saw, what they did with it, things that happened in it. But then I allowed myself to remember the second half of Invincible season 2.
It just hit, yeah.
I thought about that too.
Yeah.
Bruh, listen, as big of a deal as X-Men 97 was, and as well as I believe they handled it, Invincible, bruh, even though it's only half the season, that joint, bruh, it is that it's incredible television, like period. It's incredible television. It's incredibly active. It's incredibly well animated.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to be said for the more adult themes that they, not even the themes, and honestly not, here's the thing. There is something about how over the top the violence is, but how fitting it is. It's not gratuitous for the sake of being gratuitous, which is what a lot of that kind, like, I just feel like when Americans decide that they've got the go ahead to be violent and to show blood and guts and whatever, they go so far with it that it's almost like we'll never let you do this again. And I feel like they kind of feel like we might not ever get to do this again.
So let's just do it on that.
Let's just do it.
Yeah,
ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah, this isn't like that. Like every violent moment, as ridiculous as they are, all of those moments fit. They feel right, and they don't feel like they're there just because they can.
Mm-hmm.
They're there because that's what the show is. That's how the world works. It just, and so it works. It stays within the continuity, and it's just so well. It's like these are parodies of characters. You know, like they really are. They're parodies of superheroes and superhero. They're parodies of X-Men. They're parodies of Justice League. And still, I think the stories are being told better, might be pushing it a little bit. But yeah. There's a part of me that honestly believes that we don't get the kind of adult themes version of X-Men 97 if Invincible wasn't already happening.
I can see that, yeah.
And it's not that they pushed the envelope in the early 90s with the kind of themes and stuff that they were talking about
in
X-Men. But G said, I'm gonna check Invincible 2 tomorrow. Let me tell you something.
Treat yourself.
Put it down. Once you start, bro, you're not gonna be able to put it down. And then
at least you get to
February
watch the whole
6th,
season.
when the next season starts,
lock
it's
in.
gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. Yeah, I do think that there are things that happen in the X-Men 97 that we got that we would not have gotten if it wasn't for Invincible pushing the envelope. So, Invincible. Jokes, live action TV show.
Live action TV show. Bring this up.
I already know that me and Sen are probably on the exact same page. So we just
hey, listen, I said the same thing myself. I haven't watched it, and I'm pretty sure y'all picked the same thing.
Had to have.
But because I didn't watch that, this one was actually a surprise for me. And I gotta go with Agatha all along. Like Agatha, for a little bit, we got a little worried. We did Spoiler Boys on this. We got a little worried. But by the time we got a little bit right before the halfway mark, things started picking up. It started referencing some things from previous episodes. And let me tell you, the story that they did from this was pretty damn good. AZ, I will tell you this. Listen, I
know right now that's the thing that's gonna separate me and Sen.
I just finished watching season 2 of Squid Game. I was this close, but I was like, let me not do this because I just finished watching it. It's dope though. But Agatha, just from the fact that we really weren't sure at all what it was we were going to be getting from this show.
Right.
It was like, hey, we know Agatha not having powers or whatever, just coming from WandaVision. But by the time we got to the end of this, the story was solid. Some of the, I guess you could say twist, in the way a lot of these episodes were presented and actually shown to us. I feel like for some people, when you would have saw one of these episodes, you probably would have lost your mind until you got to the very end. But once we started piecing together things really quick. Agatha, I feel like, was one of those that was probably not thought of being a solid show. And obviously it's part of the MCU. So a lot of people were like, it's just another MCU show. But I thought they did a very good job at making me care about a character that necessarily doesn't really, that's a side character. Yeah. But made me actually care about her story and some of the rest of the characters. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything, but made me care about some of these other characters that we potentially may see down the road within the MCU. So I gotta give my hats to Agatha all along. It was from left field what we got from it, but hey, let me tell you though, Squid Game season 2 though, Sam, I was mad when the last episode ended. Listen, I thought I was having another episode.
Man have his turn, bro. I'm sorry. Trying to throw extra joints out. Let my man have his turn.
I'm just responding to Z because she put it up there. But I'm sorry.
Well, you didn't say anything about it, and so the audio listeners have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just saying. Zayna said Squid Game 2. like I'm just saying, that's what he's referring to. Sin?
Then go ahead.
Yes. Gage, you're right. When we started this, Penguin was my number one choice.
Of course it was.
Because it was spectacular. It made me feel like the later we got into the show.
Mm-hmm.
But then, other things come out and other things kind of happen. And Squid Game 2 happened.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I went back and rewatched season 1 to kind of just get ready for it. And I ended up liking it more the second time around than I did the first. But geez, season 2, I feel like knocked it out the park. Like coming from the praise and everything that season 1 was getting, I'm thinking, okay, they're coming out with season 2. How are they going to capitalize it? Then you watch the trailer and you see they're doing red light, green light again. And kind of like, why is he back in the games after everything he went through in season 1? Exactly. And you watch it and it all begins quickly to make sense. How they put it all together, and it just starts cooking. They give you so many different characters this time around to care about besides him, which I think is going to absolutely destroy everybody when season 3 eventually drops this year. But yeah, I thought they did a great job from beginning to end, even not knowing it was only like part 1 going into part 2 type of thing. Like halfway through the season, I'm looking at the episode count. I'm like, there's no way all this is going to be over in like 4 more episodes. It is impossible. They're going to have to leave us with a cliffhanger or something like that. And they absolutely did. But I thought acting, everything all the way around, across the board, even the new games they added into it were just creative and interesting and one hell of a ride to watch. Yeah, I can't recommend this one enough.
I dig it. You know what it is. You know exactly what.
I know exactly what it is. Yeah. Like I said, it was there until this joint dropped.
Let me tell y'all about the Penguin, bro.
Penguin.
I don't care about the Penguin, bro. I just don't. Kayla said, "Is there any calamari?" What? I missed that. I don't.
Yeah, is there any calamari? No, you should be good. Okay. Not emotionally though.
Yeah. The Penguin is really.
Bet Xana, you're on my squad. She said she's perfecting Gongi this year. She swears. Yes. Yes.
It is really, I think, the best thing that DC has done in live action.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe ever. And that's I watched a thing earlier today with Stephen Amell kind of going off about Peacemaker making fun of Green Arrow and the Arrowverse a little bit. And funny enough, like my youngest just finished rewatching like all of Arrow. She was rewatching all of Flash. They weren't my thing. They were cool though, and I appreciate them. This show, it pulls zero punches. It just, and when you think,
the later we get into that show,
I've ever been so mad at the end of a season of anything. It's rare. Like I can get excited watching something or whatever. It's rare that I'm getting up. It's rare that I'm getting up. G, let me tell you something right now, G. Prepare yourself mentally. You watching Penguin right now? It's a little bit of a slow start. Once Christina Milioti start cooking, bro.
Lord have mercy. No, sheesh. That's what it is.
Let me tell you something. That show, man, I don't really need another The Batman movie. Just give me another season of Penguin. For real. Like, for real. I'd be good. 8, 9 episodes. All in. All in. Honestly, some of the best time I spent all year. That block of hours.
That's why I hate like everybody in that show.
Bro, everybody in that show. Bro, everybody cooks, dog. Every single character, everybody. Colin Farrell just took home the Golden Globe, which is like cool. But bro, without that, everybody in that joint cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, Penguin's mother cooking, bro. Like that whole joint. It's boy. That's my favorite. That's my favorite joint from last year. All right, look, this is the part where I check out.
Oh, I know what this category is.
It is time to discuss wrestling. The best overall promotion, the best feud, the best PLE, best performer. Well, favorites, I guess.
Favorites, yeah, I think.
I don't have a car in this race. I'm not. This is all y'all. Jokes?
Yeah.
Have at it.
Got it. So, best overall promotion. Just gonna be simple. This year, 2024, it was WWE. Like, honestly, the changing of the regime and the power, like, there was just such a huge difference in the way that things were presented and shown, pretty much from I would say like that, probably like between February and March is where we really started to see the shift in the gears for it. And then by the time WrestleMania was done and then we moved on, it was just a completely different beast from what we've seen in the last few years. A lot of the stars, both new and returning, that WWE has introduced to the world and have done it in such amazing ways. I got to give them props, because there was a point where it was like WWE for me was starting to become, I guess it was almost like it was becoming stagnant again. Like it was starting to, have those ups, but it was starting to get to like that stagnant place again. But I would say with Triple H, head of creative and doing everything, absolutely amazing year that WWE did. And I mean, I've watched obviously the others, your AEWs. The biggest competition, I would say, biggest competition you should say to WWE would probably be like AEW. Mm-hmm. But they're still a long way from being able to get anywhere close to the type of presentation. WWE leans in that entertainment. I gotta say that they lean into that entertainment side of things, and there's nobody that can touch them when it comes time for it. But overall, WWE.
Yeah, I agree. It's WWE. Clearly, like they smoked it this year. I agree with what Joke is saying, except for like falling off part, because I wasn't around for so long. So I'm just re going through it all over again. But one thing to add to what he said also is amazing, what they're doing down at NXT. Because this was the year when a lot of people started saying, no, the best women's division is in NXT, and they prove it I'm pretty sure they're proving it tonight while we're doing this right now. But no, what they're doing with the up-and-coming young talent down there, especially the women's division, if a lot of them stick around, what it's going to look like in 5 years from now is going to be insane. There's some very, very talented women down there. So, yes, salute to them, what they're doing across the board. Great. If last night didn't prove it, like, you know what I'm saying? Come on. Yeah. But WWE?
Your favorite feud, Jokes?
I think this one, honestly, Sin, I believe we're in the same place with this.
It's between two.
It's between two, and I think we can just chime in if it is.
Sure.
But the best feud from this year, or 2024, hands down with
Yep.
CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Like, so first of all, the CM Punk by itself. CM Punk, of course, was in AEW for part of the time to then shift back over and come back to WWE. But when I tell you, unfortunately, CM Punk got injured, which kind of derailed his going into into WrestleMania, unfortunately. But when I tell you, they still kept him relevant the whole way through and creating these these tensions between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins through the whole entire thing has been absolutely incredible. CM Punk wasn't medically cleared to be at WrestleMania, but ended up costing Drew McIntyre his championship. And when I tell you, from that point forward,
it went all downhill.
The level of pettiness between these two
epic
was on a whole nother level.
And jokes, you know what else sold this above Hangman and Swerve?
Mm-hmm.
Drew. He stepped his game up immensely on the mic, and his trolling online was perfection every single week. But he helped sell this match. This feud 1,000%.
100. And I will tell you, like Drew McIntyre's got a long, don't get me wrong, CM Punk has got some time in him to still be in the ring. Drew McIntyre has still got a long way to go. And if he continues to do what he is doing currently right now, he's going to be back on top with the championship sooner or later. But right now, McIntyre is going back into the pettiness bag ever so slightly right now. He's not on this level right now because they got to get him another feud and get him built back up. But overall, this is a few. Oh, my Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell. This was the match that ended the feud. Now, in the past, WWE actually had the pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. It did not feel like this was the match. Like, it was like what Hell in a Cell should be. It should be like the end to we can't get this done. We have to go to Hell in a Cell. They made this match actually really mean something again to end this feud. I suspect Hell in a Cell now is going to go back into the closet, and we will not see Hell in a Cell for a good while to keep that. What's the word I want to look for it?
Keep it fresh.
Keep it important. To just
keep it
important. The relevance of what a Hell in a Cell match is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But feud, hands down, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk.
Yep. Clearly. Yep.
All right. So what was the best PLE?
This one could be a little bit different, Sam.
It could be. Sure, I'm interested to see what you're gonna say.
But I'm actually gonna say WrestleMania 40.
Figured. Okay. Figured you're gonna say it. They're not mine, but
that. Yeah. WrestleMania, of course, now has gone to 2 nights, so I love it better that way because now you get to really feature everyone that you're building these stories and trying to give, I guess you could say, the finale on the grandest stage of them all. But WrestleMania gave us, I guess you could say, it gave us the end of a version of the Bloodline story and Cody Rhodes actually finishing his story. The Bloodline now has been the center of the storytelling now for, at this point now, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been no slowing down. Cody, just like CM Punk, came back over from AEW and has pretty much been on this path the whole way through. He run Royal Rumble twice to eventually submit and get himself to being the main event of WrestleMania, not to mention being a part of the main event on each night. I would say every single match that was on the card both nights, maybe with the exception of one, I would say were all pretty solid. Once again, the type of presentation that WWE can do is just no one can match it. So when they want to go big for the biggest show of them all, they do that. But overall, for me, WrestleMania 40 was the PLE of 2024.
Sam?
Not mad at all. For me, it was, oddly enough, the one right after that, Backlash in France. Because we have never seen anything like that in our life. And I'm talking strictly the crowd participation of that PLE was historic. And we didn't see that coming by a mile. Like literally, Tripp was talking about afterwards how back in Gorilla, they could not hear each other talk for the entire time. They started screaming from the time the fireworks and pyros go off until it went off air. They were that loud for probably 90% of the entire PLE. Like, just go back on like YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and just go look up the crowd reactions from it, specifically Jey Uso's entrance, and when they are trying to announce Cody Rhodes versus
was that AJ?
Yes, AJ.
Was that Cody AJ? Yeah.
Yes. And they are screaming so loud. They're singing so loud. The building is shaking. You see the cameras jumping up and down while they're trying to announce them. It is insane. It was so, and now from that, they make it a point every time they go someplace in this new PLE to tell people, all right, y'all gonna be louder than France? Like y'all and they got the meter now to see how loud the people are there, and it's like becoming a thing for like other countries like to try to do what France did.
No one has touched France.
Nobody's touching France until France comes back around. That's what I think. Like, that was unbelievable. Seriously, just go look up the crowd reactions from it. It was insane to just listen to and just watch. Yeah, it was epic. But yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm. Not mad at that.
Your favorite performer.
Favorite performer. This actually
so passionate. He right.
Hey, listen. This actually may. Sam, we may be on the same page.
Oh, we better be.
The best performer of 2024 has got to go to this dude, Will Ospreay. When I tell you, if you made a list of the top 10 matches of 2024, he is easily in at least 4 of those matches. At least 4 of those matches.
Yeah, he is.
Every single person that he has been in the ring with has created just an absolute incredible performance. Now, I will say, Will Ospreay has probably helped some of those other performers be able to tap into something and to give this presentation that necessarily nobody else can do. But this dude has, ever since, and don't get me wrong, even before coming to AEW, this dude in New Japan, Rev Pro Wrestling, this dude has been on fire and has had these 5-star matches pretty much his whole damn career. And 2024, him coming to AEW, already coming in and winning a couple of championships. And those matches were absolutely amazing. Not to mention, he had a match with Bryan Danielson, who we knew this match was going to be incredible. We just didn't know how good of a match it was going to be. These two dudes tore the house down. Probably that could be in the top 3 of those matches if you did a top 10. But Will Ospreay is just he is in a different league in comparison to a lot of other wrestlers. And don't get me wrong, a lot of other wrestlers are amazing, but this dude is the complete package. On the mic, in the ring, like, he has the complete package. And I'm looking forward to what he does this year and next year and the year after that and the year after that, because this dude's got his whole career ahead of him.
Oh yeah.
But 2024 hands down was the year for Will Ospreay.
Sin?
I'm not mad at that choice at all. Not my choice, but I'm not mad at it. No, mine actually.
Wait.
Come on, come on.
Never mind.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's one of technically what you get one of. Yeah,
it's clearly Toni. Yeah, Timeless Toni Storm. My God, what she did by going from just regular Toni Storm, her normal rocker self, and just creating this persona of Timeless Toni and being this struggling actress with the whole black and white look. All her promos were black and white. When she walks out, it was black and white. Even when they did the photos afterwards, she kept this whole thing going on, and she smoked this character and her promos, her matches. Like, she smoked everything. She
watch for the shoe.
Yes, like her little phrases she would throw out there, the way she handled herself at press conferences, even when she lost it All In, and how she just walked out barefoot, just walked, never to be seen again, to pop back up in Japan with the same look, same everything. They just switch a beat. Even those promotions were keeping the whole black and white thing going on, making her run through there. I know she lost there, but she never stole her momentum. Like whether it was a win or a loss, like she stayed in front of the camera, she stayed in front of the public's eye, and she just captivated everybody. Ended up going down to Mexico to do the same thing, had her run down there, and to finally come back. She's finally back, and now she doesn't remember none of that. Like, she is super creative in what she is doing, and I think a bigger light needs to be shined on her. Like, she clearly smoked this year when it comes to the women's division above just all programs. Like, just period. She's a superstar, and I can't wait to see what she has planned for 2025. Yeah,
I dig it. Jokes, do you have a favorite gadget from last year?
Honestly, what I got actually. I'm wearing them currently right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's these Meta Ray-Bans. So I haven't gotten to fully utilize them. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to Ocean City. That was where I was really planning to use these and see how things were going to truly work. But just in the everyday type of thing, being able to snap pictures if I want to, record video, having the audio, being able to listen to music through my glasses, it's been a really cool thing. They have AI intelligence built into them. So I don't know why I double said that, but the AI that's built in, yeah, I don't know why I did that, but just as some fun stuff, I kind of wanted to test to see, how detailed that it could be, especially with the, like, if you just say like, hey Meta, like they're dead right now, but like you're looking at something, you say like, hey Meta, what is this? And it can really truly give you a full description. Like, yeah, just obviously, where I work. I was in the store, so I was like, hey Meta, what is this I'm looking at? And I have Meta, looks like you're looking at a display of iPads in an Apple store. And I'm just like, whoa, Paul, like, wait a minute here.
Pump your brakes. Relax, Meta.
I gotta give it props. So just being able to use these like on a daily basis, just to do small things in between has been pretty cool. And not to mention, like, obviously I'm blind, I need glasses, so that helps out on the same side as well too. But I would say overall, these have probably been one of my favorite things. I got these closer to the end of the year. But these have just been really cool and fun to actually have.
They are pretty intuitive. Being able to ask it questions like that and then go into the app and actually read back like what you asked it, what the image was, and then what it and then like what it says. They don't can't be mad at you. Yeah, like being able to go back and like read what it's saying, and then like some of the updates that they're talking about doing for them are just really exciting in terms of like being able to translate things and all that kind of stuff, like on the fly is. I totally get it. Good choice. Jokes. Sin, you got a favorite gadget?
Nah, I actually don't. It's probably, if anything, it's my my neck fan with the air conditioner. My old one broke, so I had to get a new one this year. So it would be that. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. You definitely used that joint.
Yes.
Definitely.
Stay strapped on the conventions.
Oddly enough, I think just because of the use that I get out of it, I thought it was going to end up being the new Rode mics that we picked up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's this water bottle. It's this updated version, like
that's a new one.
Yeah,
you got a new one.
Yeah, for quite some time.
Need that link.
This is the updated version of it. Here's the thing. It's the simple little things, right? That just the old one was just a regular top. This one has the straw in the top of it, which is cool. It's a larger size than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, like the thing about it is that it's also a charger. And so which was the novel thing about it. So the charger unscrews from the bottom. There's space in the underside for the charging cables to fit inside of it. But then also, not only does this have both USB-C and standard USB, like for charging on it, but it also you can just lay your phone down on top of it and it'll charge and it'll hold and it'll charge. Phones completely off of one charge, you can charge like 4 phones.
Oh, that's fire. Yeah.
Dang, that's dope.
I need to add that to the 2025 repertoire for
It's
con going. Yeah.
It definitely was the move, the right step up from what we do. Just because, again, with all the conventions and stuff that we do, and as much as we walk around and try to just keep drinks on and stay hydrated and stuff like that, having one that had a battery backup in it in the first place has been a lifesaver. Being able to step up to a newer one that charges faster and has more battery life and has more capacity for drinks and has the straw and all that. I get so much use out of it. That would be my favorite thing from last year. Now, I snuck this one in. Before we go on to our favorite snack, biggest surprise moment, that kind of thing, or if you have a favorite like loading snacks moment specifically from last year, is there something from last year that you missed, that you regret missing, that you wish, a game you wish you had played, a movie you wish you had saw, a TV show everybody was talking about you didn't have time to watch?
I forgot about that one, actually.
Yeah, I do for that. I do. Absolutely.
What you got, Sin?
Arcane. I'm mad I'm not going to watch
it. You know what?
Because I love season 1, and I couldn't find time to fit in the schedule with so much anime I got to watch now, so I just couldn't make the time for it. So I'm gonna make up for that time for sure. Just
let me tell you something. You could have watched that while we was watching Agatha.
No,
I'm just saying. We watched Agatha and you didn't watch Agatha.
No, but I was watching like 8 animes at the time.
I'm just saying. You could have found the time. You got to consider. You got to almost treat it like it's one of those animes. You just got to sneak it in there. You'll get it though.
I started episode 1. I'm like halfway through it. Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to, because I know I need to know this stuff for this year coming up. So I'm trying to work through it.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. For me, it's Metaphor Refund.
I was about to say that. Yep.
That joint just played the demo. I don't have time. I can't right now.
Feel you.
There's too much other stuff to watch and or to play, and a game that just, I know that joint's gonna eat. It's gonna eat away.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. Once I get that, that's probably gonna be my number 1 game for 2025. That'll probably end up on my list for Xbox next year at the end of the year.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, again, like I've never been into the Persona games.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about them that just doesn't quite click for me. And I like Atlas stuff. I have in the past anyway. It just has felt to me for so long like they have spent so much time only doing Persona stuff and just not doing other things that I've been kind of disappointed, I think, in them, because for whatever reason, Persona stuff just doesn't quite click. But this joint, having a lot of the same nuances of gameplay and storytelling as what Persona has, but being in a fantasy realm, it just, and then just like the timing kind of took me back to like Lost Odyssey in terms of the way the fight mechanic works, which I love Lost Odyssey. So if I wasn't playing Dragon Age right now, like if Dragon Age hadn't clicked for me, I would have bought Metaphor, and that's what I'd be playing right now. And it probably would have replaced Dragon Age for me this year, just based on what I have played. Again, because if you get the demo, like the demo's free, you're gonna play like 10 hours before it ends, and you can just pick up where you left off. And it's on sale right now.
I got it, and I started it up, but unfortunately, the Like a Dragon bug had already had a hold of me, and I was like, I can't stop that. The train's already going. I can't stop.
Is it still on sale?
Yeah,
it is. Here's the thing. It is still on sale, but only the special edition. However, here's the thing. So the regular edition isn't on sale, but you know the regular edition is $70. Special edition is $100. But right now the special edition is like $75. So it's only like another $5 more than the regular version.
So
and like it has a bunch of stuff in it I don't really want, but it is like 30th anniversary of Atlas and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop it. So I have it already. It is on sale. Might as well just go ahead and knock it out. And there's some stuff like some outfit stuff or whatever that I don't really care about in terms of like cosmetics for it. But for like another $5, it's kind of like might as well just, knock that joint out. But that's the thing that like I've heard so much about and have heard so many people just talk about how great of a game it is and how much they enjoy playing it. And again, I enjoyed playing the demo, but I don't have the time. And so that's the thing that I missed that I'm like the most. I'm like, man, I really wish I could have sunk some real time into it. Sin, you got a favorite snack from last year?
I actually do.
What's that?
We had them at Spring LockCon, the fiery habanero Doritos.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yes, those, like,
we all had to go buy bags.
Yes. Those, pun intended, were fire. Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts. That's actually a really good one. I'll be honest. I forgot about those.
I did too.
I forgot about those. Jokes, do you have a favorite snack?
I really don't. Like we had some cool things, but otherwise I'm still just anything Albanese. Honestly, has really just been my. Hey, listen, I put Sin onto the peach rings. Matter of fact, last year.
I know.
I'm about to break him out tonight
because he had no idea. That was at Baltimore. I think.
I don't know. They in rotation now.
That bag almost gone, bro. You know what I mean?
That, yeah, really, just anything Albanese. Gummy bears, the gummy worms, the peach rings. I got to order. They got some things that are on their website that you necessarily, I guess they're probably harder to find for you to go in the store and get just to try. But anything Albanese is just like, there's always something in one of my snack bins that I be having up here.
They got the whole section at the store at the harbor, bro. We could just take a trip. It's like, what's up?
Well,
take a trip. We're gonna be there in like a couple weeks.
Magfest, you right.
Load up.
Right.
Yeah.
We about to be walking around, so we're gonna need some snacks.
What?
So I'm gonna tell you what. They weren't even like my favorite thing, like in terms of like what they taste like or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Coke flavored Oreos. I don't listen. Here's it. I got a whole bag.
Okay.
However, I have like of all the things that we've tasted things that like, this gets it right. This kind of tastes like it or whatever. I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
Those cookies taste like Coke soda, bro. Yes. They taste like soda, bro. It's like I can't figure it out. It has set in my mind as like, look, we had cotton candy soda. Like we did all kinds of things. Yeah. And there were plenty of things that I enjoyed that were flavorful that definitely tasted better than those. They just got it right. Like I don't know. Yeah. And then the idea of doing it as a crossover that also had Oreo flavored Coke, which didn't really taste great to me.
But it tasted like an Oreo in it. That's what was just like, y'all actually put an Oreo in this thing? Like it was crazy. Yeah.
Something like, yeah, like in terms of like sheer, like this is left field. Why would you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then also being like, yeah, but somehow you got it right. You did. You got it right. So that was a joint. Do you have a favorite surprise from last year?
I do actually. I don't want to say that it's necessarily a favorite surprise. A favorite, I'll say a surprise nonetheless was obviously, I was talking about the wrestling, talking about, the changing of power, the changing of gears, but in pretty much we're probably almost to the year to date of Vince selling off his final shares of his TKO and essentially removing himself from the company, which pretty much gave us the first point in time where there literally was no McMahon at the front and center of the company at that point. So obviously with everything that he had going on, it was like, I didn't see him finally, completely finally separate. Like he retired once and then it was like, oh yeah, I'm back. And it was just like, oh great, we're just back to the same thing. But then this time, essentially once TKO was formed and he sold off all the shares that he had and essentially removed it, and he got removed, it was like, they're legitimately now, it's like, that's it. The Vince, like the McMahon regime is done and it's over with. So I would say that was probably the biggest surprise was just finally just seeing him sell them all and go do his thing. But that was probably it.
What about you, Sin?
I did not have this on my bingo card whatsoever, but Ramna getting a remake. I did not see that coming in a million years. I don't know why. And also, they announced it in June that they were getting a remake, and we're just finishing season 1 of it. Like, it came out the same year, like a few months later, which was great. And I think Mappa knocked it out of the park for the first season. And knowing that the goal is to actually like fully adapt the entire manga this time around, not give us 2 good seasons and filler. And y'all know how much I love this anime like completely. And I feel like I'm a little disappointed in myself after they did her Rumio Takahashi's last one that came out before Ramna, Uryo Yatsura, which was really good. I should have saw this coming next, but for some reason it just didn't compute. So I was completely surprised and so happy not only to get the announcement this year, but actually be able to watch it in the same year. So yeah.
Dig it. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm very surprised by Creature Commandos right now.
I've started it. I've seen the first 3 episodes. Yeah.
I'm very surprised by Creature Commandos. I wasn't like in a place where I thought it was going to be terrible, but it had potential to be terrible. And there are things I don't love about it, but I'm enjoying it. And I wasn't really expecting to. It was just one of those things that I felt like, I'm going to have to watch it because this is what we do, or whatever. And so, but I'm actually really enjoying it. So that's really what that is for me. Is there a favorite moment? It's a thing that happened in pop culture for either of you that, maybe not a surprise, maybe something you were expecting, maybe, whatever, but like, and I'm not specifically talking about a loading snacks moment because we're going to get to that after this before we shut it down, but just something in pop culture, something that got announced, some kind of a crossover.
I was going to say,
I'll tell you just to kind of give you like, for me, spoilers, there was probably Gambit's death in X-Men 97. That joint was for like some weeks, like the biggest thing that happened in pop. Like, it was the thing. And if you weren't watching X-Men 97, you were missing out. And it was so poignant. It mattered so much, and it had such an effect on the rest of the show that I think is and will continue to be a major moment from 2024 in terms of pop culture.
I dig it.
And I don't know how they redo it, undo it, live up to it. I think that's what it was for me.
I dig that.
You grab one?
I would just say, I think you probably say crossovers and kind of leading to some other stuff. So I will tell you, we are celebrating, kind of going into it, the 40th anniversary for Gundam. And when I tell you the partnerships and collaborations that I've seen literally over the year that Gundam has done has been absolutely insane. Obviously, I talked about the Call of Duty multiplayer and them introducing, Gundam skins in Call of Duty. And I'm like, okay, I get you're just going to be able to put them on. But listen, I'm going around and I'm actually like shanking people as a Gundam with like the energy sword and the beam rifle. I'm like, hey, you got me right now. You got me right now. And then seeing some of these other, some other collaborators, like they announced last year, Gundam is getting a trading card game. And I was like, you explicit. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. I already know that I am going to spend an unhealthy amount of money in that when it officially releases this year. Not to mention this year, they announced the whole Warhammer version of Gundam this year. That don't, but that's more money too. But I think just seeing how strong and how they're trying to position Gundam more over here in the West, even though we've had it over here to a certain degree over the last couple of decades, it's now there is a much bigger focus to bring it to a different audience, especially with, being on Netflix for you to be able to go and watch new Gundam and some of the old Gundam stuff. The Gundam movie that will eventually come out that's going to be specifically to Netflix. It's just been, a super plus to see them pushing more and doing more over here in the West. Gundam, after War Gundam X, to celebrate the 30th anniversary of that, they dropped it on Tubi of all places. I was like, I don't know why Tubi, but
because
whatever.
it's free. Because they're trying to get it in front of people, and it's free. Look, for all the things that Tubi is not, one of the things that it is getting a lot of views. People love to watch and post about stuff they seen on Tubi. So. Then what you got?
Nothing really for this one. I can just tie it back to Ramna for real. That was like I said, one of the biggest things for me this year because I love it so much. So yeah, just Ramna again.
All right, jokes. Favorite loading snacks related moment of 2020.
That one, I didn't actually load that picture back up, but for me, for 2024 was getting the opportunity to do an interview with Walter Jones. Like, listen, and I've said this multiple times on the show since we talked. Like, but if I was able to go back and tell my young self that, hey, listen, one day you're gonna actually, and of course I've interviewed a couple of them, but to be able to sit and interview, someone that was one of the main staples in your childhood, you're gonna literally be able to sit and have a conversation on camera with this person. My young self would absolutely lose it. But to actually get to do that, and honestly, to this day, at this point now, it's probably one of my best interviews that I've actually done, and that makes it even more special. Is not only from a fan standpoint, but from a professional standpoint, it had double that impact that I was able to get from it. And I know. And I know with us running in LA, like we do this, like this is what we do, but we still like, even you had to say, it's like, hey, listen, jokes. Hey, listen, you keep calm when you go do that interview. And I was like, I told you, I was like, listen, I'm good. I'm good. And listen, and I was, but the young me on the inside though, was going
what up, auditorium?
What's good, man?
What's up?
But that was probably honestly was my absolute favorite interview in LS type of thing that we've done. I feel like we have moments that we've shared with each other that probably will top some of those things, but that's my favorite LS thing that was from last year.
Kudos.
Then?
Yeah, mine is BlurCon, our wrestling panel, getting cashed in on. That was out of left field, and that was absolutely hilarious and amazing at the same time. Shout out to Jonathan Young for that, for coming, kicking in the door, and stealing my belt and cashing in.
And listen,
really did.
I was happy with someone that we knew, because you know what? Had that been somebody else that had cashed in,
he wouldn't have made it out the damn room. Let's just say that.
It would have been a wrestling match instead of a wrestling panel, sir.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was just that's gonna live rent free, like in my head forever. Yeah. So now I got to stay on a swivel. Next time I bring the belts out to go to a convention,
keep it on your shoulder.
Can't.
Nah. Or don't sit near the door.
That'll help too. Other side of the room.
This year's kind of tough for me. There were a lot of moments this year. For us, I think that we as a collective have something that stands out. I think from every convention we did, everything that we hosted, we just got a chance to do some really cool things and had some opportunities in front of us that, not unlike years previous, we were able to kind of step up to and kind of knock out, but it was kind of difficult for me to pick a favorite because in the beginning of the year there was like Big Lick getting It was cool. I'm gonna say that I think my favorite moment. You know, I had some great interviews. Atatua Condi at like BlurCon, like that was great. Getting to talk to like Cal Dodd and interview like the voice of Wolverine, going like that was cool. But I'm gonna tell you what it was. Being at Big Lick Comic-Con, we did our Being Comfortable Being a Geek panel. Frosty was able to join us for that. It's the first time she's ever done that panel with us. It was really cool. It was also the first time we did a panel like that in like an open space, like an open forum. Like we didn't have a separate room, which is a little concerning because it's as difficult as it can be to get people to feel comfortable and open up to you and kind of talk and speak about things that are personal or private in their spaces inside of a room with other people, to kind of just do it in a completely open space. With just like a stage in front of you, it's cool. But I think that what we managed to do with that in that moment kind of helped set, strangely enough, an energy and a pace for the entire show, that standing at the door as we're getting ready to leave that convention, having the owner of that convention walk up to us and just say, can you guys just come to everything that I do? Because your energy, what you guys do is so awesome. I would just love to have you at everything. I think just kind of set a bar, especially being at the beginning of the, you know what I mean? Like relatively early in the year. It meant a lot. Like JD's cool. He's good people. You know, we kind of did the extra mile thing of having him on this show before we did the convention. And he knew who we were, but didn't really know us. Right. But offered us the opportunity, wanted us to come and do the panel, which was cool. So to do that and then get that kind of recognition, that feedback, stuff like that is just always really good to hear, to know that you didn't just do a good job doing the thing that you came to do, which was the panel. We came to do the panel, and of course we're going to do interviews and kind of talk to people or whatever. But to have someone, especially the person who owns and operates, you know what I mean, if you will, talk to us about just the energy that we bring and like what that meant and what it means to the whole of the event, enough to say, I really just want y'all to come to everything. I think was a really big deal. And for me, it's easily my favorite moment of 2024 with anything that had to do with Loading Snacks, because it kind of came out of left field. It kind of came from somebody who doesn't really already know us, you know what I mean, at least at that time, so to speak. And so it was just, you know, again, it was really cool. It was really cool to have that moment, to hear it and to kind of get all of us, you know what I mean? Like when I really thought about it, and this is not to like take anything away from like your favorite moments, but it would have been easy for me to like, oh, my favorite moment is obviously when I got to interview so-and-so, or when I, you know what I mean, when I talked to so-and-so or whatever. But like to have something that is a collective, you guys, your energy, who you all are, that just meant a lot to me. And I think it just really is, it's easily my favorite moment from last year.
I feel that.
On to 100%. It again this year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? On to it again this year. It's, you know, it's that reassurance that what we're doing is the right thing. That we're just, you know what I mean? We're moving in the right direction consistently. So, man, it's been a long show. We knew it was going to be a long show.
Absolutely.
There are a couple of things we have to cover before we get out of here. Before we do that, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us so far this evening. I swear we're wrapping up. I know there are things for you all to go do. I know you have other things to do. I greatly appreciate you. Loading Snacks Movie Club 2025. There is a post in the group. There's also a post on Patreon. We are looking for your choices. I want to know what movies you all want us to watch and discuss this year. We only do one a month. Clearly, we can only do 12. there are some suggestions that are already starting to come in.
Mhm.
So for the remainder of this week and through next week, and again, it's going to really push us to the limit because we always do our discussion right at the end of the month. We don't have a movie for this month yet. I'll take the blame for that one. I'm usually a little more ahead of the ball on this one. However, we're going to take all the suggestions that we get. Please keep in mind, if you go to the page and you drop a suggestion for a movie, a couple of movies, whatever it is, in the comments, that we are going to try to narrow things down. We try to keep it the stuff that's available on streaming services, whatever those services are, because we want them to be as available for everyone, for as many people to watch as possible. That's really the only major caveat to that. We are going to take your suggestions along with our own. We each, as the admins, there are 6 of us, we each have 2 choices of our own that we'll throw in the hat as well. And then we're going to put them into a random generator, and we're going to let it spit out whatever the top 12 are. That's your January, February, March, April. That's how we're going to do it. We will use some of the additional, once we get that 12, we'll do it again to mix up like what movies get watched when. But with just those 12, we'll put just those 12 into a generator and have it kind of mix it. But having said that, we will use the movies that don't get chosen as backups in case, because streaming services and things like that are always changing. We had to call some audibles last year, had something ready to go, images and everything ready to post, and then go and find out it's no streaming on this service. It's not streaming anywhere anymore. We need to call an audible, pick another movie. So we'll use some of those as backups just in case. But, also I kind of would like for us to maybe feel free to have some people who maybe aren't directly us watch some stuff of their own that maybe comes from the list and kind of begin to push your own discussions and that kind of thing if you so choose. So we need your help with that. So please go to the Loading Stacks Movie Club Facebook group and drop your choices there. Or if you're a Patreon member, there's a post that's there that's open to everyone. You can drop your choices there. And at the beginning of next week, before we get to Tuesday, before this show goes live, we'll do the generator. We'll make our picks, and we will show them on this show. Do they need to be in English? Shana said. Not if they can be subtitled. Not if subtitles are available. It doesn't have to be English. I would much rather watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with subtitles than in English. But I've watched it enough times that I'm familiar with it both ways. So no, doesn't have to be English. Just needs to be available on a streaming.
Yes.
Now, jokes.
Yes, sir.
You've posted stuff for wrestling this week already. I do want to encourage everyone to go to the YouTube and watch the reaction to the first ever WWE Raw on Netflix. Go check that out, please. What else do we have coming down the pipeline as far as wrestling chat over the next couple of weeks?
Yep. So actually, next couple of days, you're going to have a video. So fortunately, myself, Marcus, and then also Ben and Michael from the Awesome Mania podcast, we actually did our top 10 wrestlers of 2024. So you expect that to go live. I think you guys will have fun with that one. We did, of course, the traditional way that we do our top 10 picks with Loading Snacks. At the same time, Ben was actually doing a point system for us as well, too. So we could do kind of a comparison on some of the ways that we do our picks. And crazy enough, you get a little interested in seeing the comparison between the two of them when you do it versus the point system versus the Loading Snacks way. But definitely is worth the watch. Sin, you were missed because I feel like you throwing a vote in there would have probably made you a little bit happier, but I know you're still happy one way or the other. But yeah, expect that to come in the next couple of days for you guys.
Cool. Sin,
Yo,
what's going on with Anime Chat?
Well, first off, I don't know Patreon members if you saw, but we dropped a surprise episode for you all over the weekend, like a special with all of us sitting down, watching through the entire winter 2025 lineup and seeing what looks good to us, what we might keep, what we might drop, so forth. So that's there just for you guys. Other than that, the newest episode is already recorded. You all will have that Thursday morning, 10 a.m., episode 15. And as far as Thriller Park goes, we started Higurashi last week, and this is one of the most creepiest animes I've ever seen, but at the same time, it is so good. With just 4 episodes in, we couldn't do this 3. Everybody demanded for a 4th one, so we said, let's keep the party going. And I'm pretty sure that the way it's going, it's going to be the same way this week. So Thursday night, 9:30, episodes 5 through 8, but it'll probably go to 9 at least, depending on the cliffhanger they leave us with in the show. So join us.
Okay, I dig that. I would like to remind everyone to check out our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can go and you can listen there if you need to kind of catch up, recap, those kinds of things. If it's easier for you to do it that way than it is to tune in or watch on YouTube or whatever it is. Again, we are looking to continuously expand our footprint. So it would mean a lot if you go and you subscribe there or follow the podcast there so you get notified when new episodes go live. If it makes it easier for you to listen there, then listen there. Give us a rating there. Those things are very, very helpful for us. Having said that, I think we can wrap the show. Can we wrap the show, Jokes?
I believe so.
Excellent. I want to play Dragon Age.
And I got to go watch New Year's Evil. NXT.
Yes, you do.
Spoiler alert! Damn it!
Not a spoiler alert. That was just a yes, you do. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll trust you. See, okay.
That's not a spoiler. That was just a confirmation,
and it was
a reaffirmation of what you already said.
It was his face. That's all. Okay.
My face is always doing things like that. So
correct.
Okay.
Your face is a spoiler, sir.
Yeah,
it's a spoiler.
But regardless, I'll be happy.
Yeah. So look, again, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us this evening. We greatly appreciate it. You could be anywhere else, doing anything else, and some of you probably are doing more than one thing while this is happening in the background. We appreciate that just as much as anything. We are very, very seriously looking forward to a really, really solid, strong, and good 2025. And we are so happy to have you all along on the ride with us for this year. Keep riding with us. Jokes, tell the folks what I need them to hear.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we are out. Toodles and Lose.
Loading snacks.